Hi everyone, welcome to part 2 of our little summer holiday vlog. It is Friday today and we're at Great Missenden Station and we're off to London. We caught the train to London Marylebone and then went to Marylebone High Street to a shop called Daunt Books. This is somewhere that I've always wanted to go. I saw a picture of it a while ago and it just looked amazing. I love books and I love a good bookshop. And it really didn't disappoint. They actually specialise in travel books and they do have other sections as well, but then they have just hundreds and hundreds of books from all over the world. It's so inspiring. This is my most favourite book ever, called The Prophet by Khalil Gibran, and they had some beautiful, beautiful copies of it. I had to be really restrained to not buy stuff in here. And just, we spent a wonderful time in there looking around. It made me want to go to every country in the world as well, I have to say. Well worth a visit if you're in the area. After Daunt Books, we just walked around London. It was so nice because the weather was lovely, and we ended up at Chinatown, which I would always choose for lunch when I'm in London. Absolutely love it. Although I haven't been for years, I have been many times to Chinatown and I love the food. I've never had a bad meal. You know, there's always somewhere different to try. So we wandered around and had a look and then had some lunch. We got prawn crackers here and a little sweet and sour sauce. Then we shared some starters, which were absolutely delicious. Then sweet and sour chicken and some egg fried rice. And we also tried a pot of Chinese tea, which was so yummy. Can't recommend Chinatown enough. After that, we carried on walking around London, just taking in the sights. We popped in to a couple of shops, not to buy anything, but, just to have a look, and soak up the atmosphere. And then we carried on walking to Hyde Park, which again was amazing. They had a big concert going on, or it was going to go on that evening. So it was a great atmosphere. And then we got the train home back to my Auntie Sue. Well, she's not my auntie, but I call her Auntie Sue. She's one of my mum's oldest friends. They went to school together. And we just sat chatting in her garden and watching Mrs. Trott, who is her tortoise. She was just exploring the garden and we were very entertained by her. She's great to watch and she loves going all in all the bushes and everywhere. We were all just chatting and reminiscing and everything. It was so good to see Sue, and I also got to see her daughter Sarah, who's probably my oldest friend. So that was really lovely as well. On Saturday morning, Sue cooked us the most amazing cooked breakfast, and we sat in the garden for ages and just really enjoyed it all, chatting, and the weather was divine. It was such a lovely morning. It's Saturday, well, it's probably actually nearly lunchtime now, and we're in a place called Wendover Woods. We're just going to walk and chill, sit on benches. It's a nice contrast to being in London yesterday. It's really nice and peaceful. There's a cafe and like a go ape, where you go in the trees thing here as well. So there's plenty of people around, which is nice, and it's a lovely day again. We had a lovely stroll around Wendover Woods. It was lovely and breezy and cool, although as you can see, very sunny. And I love being in nature, so that was great. We then went into Wendover and had a not very healthy lunch, but very yummy. And then on to Princess Risborough, where they were having their summer fete, and all the streets were closed. It was great, loved it. We're just sitting outside the co-op having an ice cream because it is boiling this afternoon, which is lovely. And I've got a dairy milk ice cream. Sunday morning, I think it's about 9:30, no, maybe a bit later, maybe 10, and we are in Cookham. This is where I lived, grew up, went to school, well, nearby. It's absolutely beautiful village, so we're going to have a look around. Beautiful day, show you around Cookham. Cookham's a really pretty little village on the River Thames. I mean, I love it because I grew up there and I have such wonderful memories. And it was so nice to go back and have a walk around, especially in the gorgeous weather. We went down to the river, we went and had a look at Odney, which is where me and my sister used to take our ponies and swim in this little bit of river that you can see. The Odney Club is actually owned by John Lewis, and it's there for the partners to go and spend time, I believe. We then walked down across Marsh Mead, down towards the sailing club, and we just sat on a bench actually, watched the world go by. There was people walking, a lot of dogs were getting in the river to cool down because it was so hot. There was lots of sailing going on, and we were looking at all the big houses along the riverbank. And I think we probably sat there for about an hour. It was absolutely lovely. Andy, my sister Andy, and I used to spend a lot of time down by the river as well. We'd go on walks and play down there and all sorts, ride our bikes. Then Martin and I went and had a bacon and egg sandwich, which we'd got from country stores, and we went and sat on Cookham Dean Green, again under a tree, and just had our lunch. After we had that lunch, we drove back to Wiltshire and had a lovely barbecue with my dad and Sue sitting in the garden. It was boiling. And then the next day we drove home back to Devon, and that's where we are now. I've had the best time, I have to say. Oh, and I met my mum as well in the afternoon. We stopped off, as we were driving back, we stopped off in Totnes and met mum, and we ended up going in Morrison's actually because it was cool in there, and the cups of tea are a bargain in Morrison's. So we sat down and had a cup of tea and, chatted, and I told her all the stuff we've been doing. So that was really, and she told me what she'd been up to this week. Yeah, had the best time. Absolutely loved staying with my uncle. He's so chilled, and we had the best time exploring Oxford. And I loved going back to all the kind of places of my childhood, like Beaconscott and Cookham. And I also loved going to London because I haven't been, I think, for about 8 or 9 years. And I love it. It's such a cool city. I really want to go again, actually. It costs a lot of money, though, to go from here. So it was a good chance to do it whilst we were staying with Sue. And it was so good to catch up with her and her daughter Sarah. And I saw Christopher, who's her son. And, those friends that you've had since you were kids, it's like you cannot see each other for years, and then you can just go and stay with them and feel so comfortable, and like no time has passed whatsoever. So yeah, it was absolutely brilliant. Such a good trip. Ate lots of yummy food and walked loads. So yeah, all good. Thank you so much for watching. Daily vlogging will resume again tomorrow, so I'll catch you then. Bye.